Hello guys, while the first international break of the new year is just a few weeks away, I can tell you it is the wrong time for footballers to pick up injuries, and that was the case this past weekend for some Nigerian footballers, talking about the likes of Victor Osimhen, Moses Simon and Kenneth Omero, but they look like minor knocks, so we expect them to be back in action for their club side for the next match week. Guys, my name is Emmanuel Sebastian and it is your favorite sports show talking about the Players Roundup show on Niger Footballers TV. Guys, stick around with us. My name is Emmanuel Sebastian. We are Niger Footballers, and I'll be right back after this. Welcome back, guys. Now in France, in the French Ligue 1, two Nigerians are currently, lighting up that league. We have more than two Nigerians playing in the French Ligue 1, but there were two who has been standout so far this season. And first off is Victor Osimhen, who scored again for Lille, who were playing away from home to Angers in the French Ligue 1. Osimhen got the first goal of the game in the 14th minute. It was a Friday night game. Osimhen got the goal in the 14th minute. He was put through on goal by Jonathan Bamba, and he raced through, finishing off, hitting the ball past the onrushing goalkeeper with a lobbed finish. So great to see Osimhen on the score sheet again. It was his 12th league goal of the season and his 17th in all competitions for Lille this season. But Osimhen, who scored in that game, was later taken off in the second half. He was stretched out, actually what seems like an injury. So we hope it's something that is not too serious, and we hope to see him back in action for Lille in the next match week. Now, staying in the French Ligue 1, the other Nigerian who's lighting up that league presently is Moses Simon. He's been in a brilliant run of form recently, and he was on target for Nantes in that away fixture to Dijon in the French Ligue 1. It was a thrilling game, actually, a fantastic game, a 6-goal thriller. Moses Simon got the equalizer for Nantes after they thrilled 1-0 earlier in the game, but he was subbed off again later in the first half, close to the 45-minute mark, what seems like an injury as well. So, but a sad ending for Moses Simon. When I mentioned earlier, he's been in a brilliant run, meaning he scored, he was his 4th goal in his 5 consecutive games. So that's a brilliant run for Moses Simon, and his 9th in all competitions this season for Nantes. So we hope this little knock doesn't, halt his recent brilliant run of form. So, but a good one for Moses Simon, getting on the score sheet again. Now from the French Ligue 1, we travel to the Netherlands in the Dutch Eredivisie, and this man and his club, they've been in a poor run of form recently, but it was Cyril Dessers and Heracles Almelo. They secured a win. They haven't won, in their last 5 games. It was their first win in 5 this past weekend, and it's been kind of a mini drought, a goal drought for Cyril Dessers, but he stepped up for his club side this past weekend with a brace as they won 2-0 at home to Fortuna Sittard in the Dutch Eredivisie. So great to see Heracles back on form and Cyril Dessers back in the goal for his club side, Heracles Almelo. So it was a fantastic performance from Dessers. When your team is struggling, when the chips are down, you need your vital players to step up, and I can tell you for free, Dessers is one of the key players for Heracles Almelo, and he did just that, getting a brace in that 2-0 win over Fortuna Sittard in the Dutch Eredivisie. Now from Cyril Dessers, guys, we travel to Turkey, where Anthony Nwakeme was also on target. Now, if you're talking about Nigerians who are currently on a brilliant run of form, I'm not sure we can skip the name of Anthony Nwakeme. He's also on a brilliant run for his club side, Trabzonspor. He wrapped up the scoring for them in a 2-0 win in the Turkish Super League this past weekend. It was a fantastic performance from Anthony Nwakeme. Trabzonspor are currently on a fine run, and that win this past weekend put them on top of the log on temporary basis, but they are now second on the standings after that draw by Sivasspor that takes them back on top. So good one for Trabzonspor, and as well for Anthony Nwakeme. It was his 8th goal so far this season for Trabzonspor in the Turkish Super League. So good one for Anthony Nwakeme, getting on the score sheet, guy. He plays from the flanks, so it might not be the most impressive in terms of numbers, but I can tell you Anthony Nwakeme is not doing too bad for Trabzonspor in the Turkish Super League. And from Anthony Nwakeme, guys, let's travel to Scotland. And Joe Aribo was on target for Rangers in the Scottish League Cup. It was a 4-1 win. They were playing at home. It's a single-leg fixture. They were playing at home to Hamilton Academical, and Joe Aribo got the 2nd goal in that game that sets Rangers en route to that 4-1 massive win in the Scottish Cup in Scotland. So great to see Aribo again getting a goal for his club side Rangers, and that win helped Rangers secure their place in the next round of the competition. And guys, from Joe Aribo, let's travel to Italy now, the second tier of Italian football, where Simi Uwankwo, he got the only goal. It was an injury time winner for Simi Uwankwo for Crotone. They were playing at home to Cremonese in the Italian Serie B, and Simi Uwankwo got the only goal and the winning goal of that game for Crotone out there as they secured that vital 3 points. Crotone as well, they are currently doing well in the Italian Serie B. Benevento might be running away in the top spots in the Serie B standings, but Crotone is not too far away from them. They are sitting second and they look on course to get promoted to the Italian Serie A next season. Just to mention, it's Simi's 10th goal of the season for Crotone in the Italian Serie B. And from Simi Uwankwo, will move on to Samuel Edwo, who was on target for Hajduk Split. It was also a winning goal, the only goal of the game. Why Simi's goal was late in the second half. Unlike Edwo, he got his first goal. He got the first goal of the game rather in the first half. It was an early first half strike from Samuel Edwo, but Hajduk Split went on to preserve that one goal lead as they went on to win that fixture in the Croatian HNL. So good one for Samuel Edwo as well, getting on the score sheet. Also a winning goal from another Nigerian for his club side, Hajduk Split in Croatia. It's the 7th league goal of the season for Samuel Edwo, the former MPFL record holder and the former MPFL hotshot. So great one for Samuel Edwo, getting on the score sheet for Hajduk Split in the Croatia's HNL. Now from Samuel Edwo, we've moved to Greece now, where Chuba Akpom, he got a brace for his club side, PAOK Thessaloniki. It was a brilliant game. You know, a fantastic game actually. It was a 0-0 game in the first half, but whatever the manager of PAOK, talking about Ferreira, whatever he spoke to his boys at halftime, I think they repaid that in the second 45 as PAOK came out in the second half, guns blazing, with Chuba Akpom starting the scoring in the early stages of the second half before getting his brace towards the middle of that second half. So it was 2 goals for Chuba Akpom in that 4-0 win. It was a 6th league goals in 6 starts for PAOK in the Greece Super League. So fantastic one for Chuba Akpom. He's been capped at junior level for the English national team. But so he spoke of his desire recently to represent the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So he's still very much eligible if called upon to represent the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So fantastic one for Chuba Akpom, getting on the score sheet for PAOK Thessaloniki in the Greece Super League. Now from Chuba Akpom, let's talk goalkeepers now. And 2 Nigerian goalkeepers, they kept a clean sheet for their club sides this past weekend. And they are Sebastian Osigwe and Austin Ejide. Osigwe, is in goal for SC Cranes in the Switzerland Challenge Cup, and it was a clean sheet for Osigwe this past weekend. That's 7 clean sheets so far this season for Sebastian Osigwe for SC Cranes in Switzerland. Austin Ejide as well, who has been in a brilliant run as well. It was 3 clean sheets in a row now for Austin Ejide for his club side, Hapoel Hedara, in the Israeli Premier League. So brilliant ones for the Nigerian goalkeeper. Ejide, meanwhile, is looking to get back into the Super Eagles squad. He's been capped for the Super Eagles, before. He was also the first choice under manager Bekti Vogt during the 2008 African Cup of Nations. Unlike Osigwe, who's looking forward to getting his first call-up, and also will be willing to turn out for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So congratulations for both goalkeepers, keeping clean sheet for their club side this past weekend. And finally, what a way for us to wrap the roundup. We have to congratulate Azizat Oshola. She was, on target for her club side Barcelona in the Spanish Super Cup Women's Final. It was, guys, the scoreline was 10-1. I don't believe Barcelona is going to score 10 without Azizat Oshola getting on the score sheet. So it was 2 goals out of the 10 for Azizat Oshola as Barcelona went on to secure that 10-1 final victory to lift the Spanish Super Cup, the Women's Super Cup in Spain. So congratulations to Azizat Oshola for getting a trophy for Barcelona in Spain's female football. And with Azizat Oshola, guys, is a wrap on the roundup on this edition of the Players Roundup show on Nigeria Footballers TV. But guys, we also have one more congratulations on the show, and it is the Player of the Week. But after this break, I'm going to be telling you who our Player of the Week on this edition of the show is. Stick around, guys, and I'll be back. Welcome back, guys. So our Player of the Week on this edition of the Players Roundup show on Nigeria Footballers TV, we have to give it to Cyril Desires, back in the goals. Heracles Amelo back on form. So it was 2 goals, 2 winning goals for Cyril Desires for Heracles Amelo this past weekend in that 2-0 win over Fortuna Sittard. He could have gotten a hat-trick actually. He got one goal ruled out and he wasn't happy with it. But brilliant to see the Sears back on the goal. Like I mentioned earlier, Heracles Amelo has been in poor run of form. They've lost their 4 previous games before getting that win this past weekend. And the Sears haven't been on the score sheet in those 4 games they lost. So it's good to see him, back on form and for his club side getting a win. He's still top of the top goal scorer standing in the Dutch Eredivisie this season with 14 goals, and he's had 17 so far this season for Heracles Amelo. Guys, Cyril Dessers is one player we all Nigerians, are why we are looking forward to the next Super Eagles squad list that's going to be released by manager Genetro. I am one of those Nigerians. We are keenly looking forward to that list, and this man is one major reason why I'm looking forward to seeing that list being released by Coach Genetro for the Super Eagles ahead of the next African Cup of Nations qualifiers next month. So brilliant one from Cyril Dessers, back on form and back in the goals for Heracles Amelo in the Dutch Eredivisie this past season. So once again, congratulations to Cyril Dessers. Keep banging in the goals, and it's good to see him again back on the score sheet with a brace for his club side. So guys, with Cyril Dessers, it's a wrap on this edition of the Players Roundup show on Niger Footballers TV. And guys, don't forget, always interact with us in the comment section on the show. Share your thought with us. We've got players who had knocks this past game weeks. We like we mentioned earlier, they are minor, and we're expecting them to get back in action for their club side on the next game week. So guys, share your thought, drop a comment whenever you come across this video on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. And guys, don't forget, we are on YouTube. We are Niger Footballers on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications for premium Nigerian football content. Guys, my name is Emmanuel Sebastian. It is a new month of February, and it's a week of love. As we share the love, let's not forget to keep up with a good attitude, because it plays a major role to whatsoever we do in life. Guys, it is a wrap on this edition of the show. I remain Emmanuel Sebastian. Till I come away again next time. Bye-bye.